She said it like a joke, but no one in the room laughed the way they were supposed to. Ethan Caldwell felt something shift in his chest before he even understood the words. "I'm only marrying him because I'm tired of waiting for someone better," Sloane Harrington said, smiling as if she had just delivered the perfect punchline. The champagne glasses paused midair. The room didn't freeze completely, but it leaned in a direction no one could ignore. Ethan stood just outside the sunlit patio doors of Charleston Estate he had paid for, listening to the echo of a sentence that refused to dissolve. He wasn't meant to hear it, but now he couldn't unhear it. And somehow, what hurt most wasn't the insult. It was how casually she had said it, as if it had always been true, as if it didn't even require defense, as if he already knew. The bridal shower had been planned down to the smallest detail. White hydrangeas lined the marble counters. Custom monogrammed napkins read SH and EC in gold foil. A violinist played soft, forgettable music in the corner. Everything about the day reflected precision, control, image, and yet that one sentence tore through it like something uninvited but honest. Ethan stepped back before anyone noticed him. He didn't storm in. He didn't confront her. He didn't even breathe differently. He just left, quietly, as if nothing had happened. But everything had. Sloane Harrington was not careless. She came from a family that understood appearances better than most people understood truth. Her father, Richard Harrington, built his name in private equity. Her mother, Vivian Harrington, curated social standing like a second career. Sloane had grown up inside a world where what you said mattered less than how it was received. And she was very good at being received well, which is why that moment didn't make sense. Unless it wasn't a mistake. Unless it was the one moment she stopped performing and told the truth. Ethan drove without direction for nearly an hour. The roads outside Charleston blurred into something repetitive and distant. He wasn't angry yet. Anger would have been easier. What he felt was something quieter, a slow unraveling of certainty. He replayed the sentence again and again, searching for tone, for context, for an excuse. But the more he replayed it, the simpler it became. She had meant it, and she had meant it for a long time. The engagement had been fast, but not impulsive. They had known each other for 3 years, met at a fundraiser in Greenwich, reconnected in New York, built something that looked stable from the outside. Ethan was dependable, financially secure, predictable in a way that felt safe. Sloane was composed, socially fluid, strategic without appearing calculating. Together, they made sense. That was always the language people used. They make sense. Not they're in love. Not they're inseparable. Just sense. At the time, Ethan had taken that as a compliment. Now it sounded like a warning he hadn't understood. That night, Sloane returned to his home as if nothing had shifted. She placed her clutch on the entry table, kissed his cheek lightly, asked if he had eaten. Her voice was smooth, normal, practiced. Ethan watched her for a moment longer than usual, not looking for guilt, looking for confirmation. And somehow, the absence of it told him more than anything else could have. "You had fun today?" he asked. She smiled. "It was perfect." He nodded slowly. "Did you mean what you said?" The question landed softly, but it carried weight. Sloane paused, just for a second, but it was enough. "Ethan, it was a joke." Her tone was calm, measured, almost reassuring, but there was no confusion in it. No genuine surprise, just management. Of him, of the moment. "Then why did it sound like the truth?" he asked. This time, she didn't answer immediately. She moved toward the kitchen, poured herself water, bought time, and in that silence, Ethan realized something unsettling. She wasn't deciding whether she had meant it. She was deciding how much of the truth he could handle. "Before we go further, tell me honestly, if you were in Ethan's place, would you let this go as a bad joke, or would this change everything for you? Because this is the moment where most people choose comfort over clarity, and that choice defines everything that follows." "I didn't mean it like that," Sloane finally said. "It was just a comment." Ethan studied her. There was again, not denial, not apology, just repositioning. "What did you mean, then?" She exhaled, a small crack in the performance. "I meant that I'm ready to stop waiting for perfect," she said. "And you're good." The word didn't land the way she thought it would. Good. Not extraordinary. Not irreplaceable. Not chosen. Just good. Ethan nodded slowly. I see. And in that moment, something inside him settled. Not healed. Not resolved. Just decided. The following week moved forward exactly as planned. Invitations confirmed. Vendors paid. Final fitting scheduled. From the outside, nothing had changed. But inside Ethan, everything had shifted into observation mode. He started noticing patterns he had previously ignored. The way Sloane spoke about their future in practical terms, not emotional ones. The way she prioritized optics over intimacy. The way she rarely asked him questions that didn't serve a purpose. It wasn't cruelty, it was structure. And he had mistaken that structure for stability. 3 days before the wedding, Ethan made a decision. Not dramatic, not impulsive, just precise. He met with his attorney, Nolan Prescott, in a quiet office overlooking the harbor. I want to cancel the wedding, Ethan said. Nolan didn't react immediately. Are you sure? Yes. Do you want to explain why? Ethan considered it, then shook his head. It won't change anything. The logistics were simple. Costly but simple. Contracts allowed for cancellation with penalties. Deposits would be lost. Vendors would move on. There would be whispers, speculation, temporary embarrassment, but nothing irreversible. The harder part came later, when Ethan sat across from Sloane in the living room that had once felt shared. I'm calling it off, he said. No build-up, no dramatics, just truth. Sloane blinked. Not shocked, not devastated, just recalculating. Because of what I said? Yes. She tilted her head slightly. That's extreme. Is it? It was one sentence. Ethan nodded. It was the only honest one. Silence filled the space between them. Not heavy, just final. Sloane stood slowly. You're making a mistake. Maybe, he said, but I'd rather make a mistake based on truth than a commitment based on doubt. She didn't argue further, because somewhere, beneath everything, she understood. This wasn't about the sentence. It was about what the sentence revealed. Weeks later, the story settled into something quieter. No public drama. No dramatic fallout. Just two people moving in different directions with a shared understanding they wouldn't say out loud. Ethan returned to his routines. Not unchanged, but more aware, more selective, less willing to accept something that simply made sense. And Sloane continued exactly where she left off. Social events, carefully curated appearances, a life that still looked perfect from the outside, but perhaps now a little less certain on the inside.